What's up, guys? This is Tuition Walks, and some breaking news. If this is true, this could be the biggest news of the year. If this is true, this is from the Associated Press. And when I saw the story, when I saw this headline, my eyes just popped out in my head, man. If this is true, this is probably the biggest news of the decade. According to Iraq, terrorists seize ex-chemical weapons site. As you remember, when we went to war with Iraq in 2003, they said we have weapons of mass destruction, but the United States military never found any. Well, apparently, ex-chemical weapons site suddenly popped up out of nowhere. This is from the Associated Press again. The Islamic State extremist group has taken control of a vast former chemical weapons facility northwest of Baghdad, where remnants of 2,500 degraded chemical rockets filled decades ago with the deadly nerve agent sarin are stored, along with other chemical warfare agents, Iraq said in a letter circulated Tuesday to the United Nations. So you're telling me we were at war for 10 years with Iraq, and we didn't find the site? You gotta be kidding me. This site just suddenly appeared out of nowhere. it just, you gotta be kidding. We couldn't find this chemical weapons site. It just went right under our noses. And you're telling me that when we left Iraq, we left a chemical weapons site. You know, of course, nobody could have seen that ISIS or ISIL, whatever you want to call it, would cuss on fire and try to take over Iraq. But still, you telling me we spent 10 years in Iraq, thousands of American soldiers died, and we couldn't find that chemical weapons site. But now, after we left Iraq, whoops, there it is. Here we go. Out of nowhere, that's chemical weapons site. You gotta be kidding. You gotta be kidding. This is inexcusable. I mean, how you gotta be kidding. I mean, the U.S. government put down the threat from the takeover, saying there are no intact chemical weapons, and it would be very difficult, if not impossible, to use the material for military purposes. Iraq's UN ambassador Mohammed Ali, I'm not even going to pronounce that, told U.S. Secretary General Ban Ki-moon in a letter that armed terrorist groups entered the Mutana site on June 11th, detained officers and soldiers from the protection force, guarding the facilities, and seized their weapons. The following morning, the project manager spotted the rudeness and equipment via the counter surveillance system before the terrorists disabled it. I mean, even if they can't use it for military purposes, you're telling me that 10 years in Iraq, and we couldn't find this chemical weapons site, but as soon as we leave and this Islamic State group cuts us on fire in the Middle East, it's a random, here it goes. I mean, what? Even if they can't use the weapons, you gotta get them. And we don't know if they can't use the weapons. What if they have some kind of scientists that can make it work again? I don't know. I'm not really an expert when it comes to chemical weapons. But what if they have a scientist, or a group of scientists that can suddenly make it work again? It's still inexcusable that we didn't know about this site. U.S. said the bunker was bombed in the first Gulf War in February 1991, and the weapons were partially destroyed or damaged. It said the submunitions were of poor quality. That's good news. And will also be degraded after years of storage on existing there. They said the taboo-filled containers were all treated with decontamination solution, unlikely no longer contain any agent, but the residue of this decontamination would contain cyanide, which would still be a hazard. So yeah, random. That's chemical weapons site. Boop, up out of nowhere. That's great. Yeah, this is wow. Thank God that it's not degraded or not working. This is. I mean, wow. Let's see. From the comments, yeah, so I'm like, so maybe wasn't lying. I mean, for years, people thought the Bush was lying. Oh, the weapons of mass destruction. That's why we came into Iraq. And then everybody's like, the army got weapons of mass destruction. But the article says that that they stole some weapons, isn't it? Yeah, they stole some equipment. Which could be anything. It could be weapons. It could be chemical weapons. I don't know. So clearly it was still something of value that they saw. So this article is like, oh, it might be chemical weapons. No, it's the greatest. But still, but that a random chemical weapons site appeared out of nowhere after he was up that lap. And after these terrorists decided to try to take over the Middle East. But yeah, that's all I got for now. Until next time, God bless you.